national anthem of Zimbabwe.
There you have it, Rwanda winning the toss and electing to bat first. Rwanda played yesterday, beating Ghana women with one win already on the table, already on top of the table, but net run rate quickly through the team list is Bimenyimana Marie Diane of Rwanda, the captain, alongside Alice Ikwize, Belize Clarice, Fanny, the record and history maker, Gizelle Shimwe, Henriette Therese Shimwe, Rosine Irera, Shimawana Rosette, Uwase Maville, Giovanni Uwase, and Usabiyama Silva. And in the Zimbabwe under-19 women's squad, we have Nicolette Nkita Nyika, beloved Biza, national team player as well, Mapusa, Christina, Lorraine, Mandri Zora, Nukutenda, Salem Museka, Charmaine, Tadisa, Zomarima, and Mufu. Zimbabwe still looking for their first victory. Another youth side, South Africa, who played Ghana women yesterday earlier in the first game, picked up a win. And another youth side, Zimbabwe, will be looking for a win against the team that won the match yesterday. Rwanda women haven't featured in every edition of this Invitational Women's T20I. Never missed an edition with the bilateral series edition against the female Yellow Greens of Nigeria, which the female Yellow Greens dominated 5 appearances. This is the 5th appearance, by the way. 4 previous appearances and 1 trophy for the Rwandan side, posting a very positive and huge net run rate and already on top of the table. They will be looking for a second win in 2 days of match activities against this very youthful and slightly experienced Zimbabwe under-19. Having lost the toss, Zimbabwe will go into field first. Wouldn't expect anything different from yesterday's bat. You know, the history and record breaker, history maker and record breaker, 15-year-old Fanny will take charge again in the batting crease. Yesterday putting up 111 on debut. That is the most runs. The first batter to hit a century on debut in either men or women's category, and the youngest batter to score a century. Fanny, a batter of records and history, helping the team also set a new highest team score in this tournament. The previous one was 178 by Tanzania set against Sierra Leone in the 2024 edition of the West African Women's of the Nigerian Invitational Women's T20I. And they beat that, putting up 210, a score that Ghana found very difficult to chase, giving Rwanda their first win.
To our match day 2, game number 4 of the Nigeria 5th edition of the Women's International T20I live here at the TBA. It is the battle between the young emerging talents, the young lady Chevrons, taking on a well compacted Rwandan side who made a statement in their very first game, winning by 122 runs against Team Ghana, where of course the young ladies would love to bounce back and get back to the winning ways. Out there in the middle, it is none other than Fanny Tagushima Ninde alongside Giselle Ishimwe opening the batting for the Rwandan side. With the ball in hand is going to be none other than Salem Museka, starting off with the spin straight away. I won't be alone here in the commentary box. I'll be joined by Peter. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you very much, Bob. It's quite sunny, but still good enough for a game of cricket. An early scare for Fanny. It would have been quite odd, getting a century yesterday and going out for a duck the next day. Well, luckily for the batter, it was in the umpire's discretion and the decision was not out. A slow start for Fanny compared to the explosive start against Ghana yesterday. She started off 2 balls, 2 dots already, taking the game slowly.
Swing and a miss on the occasion from Fanny Utakushima Ninde. Very smartly done by the captain of the young lady Chevrons. Starting off with the spin up ahead we saw earlier in the first game. This wicket, it is producing a lot of patches to the spinners. Soft hands there, watchfully played by Fanny Utakushima Ninde. One of the reasons, of course, Team Rwanda, they've made one change. Giovannis, who misses out on this occasion, making way for Slivia Usabjimana, strengthening their spin department. Plays it again on the back foot, back to the bowler. It's going to be an interesting contest between these two sides. A couple of familiar faces in both sides. Down the leg side again, white signal by the umpire.
With him not yet in there for Fanny. Fanny really feasted off balls on the leg side against Ghana yesterday. Today, I think she's been very, very careful and considerate not to put herself at any form of risk.
Cut away powerfully between the two fielders. Who gives it a chaser. As she picks up yet another boundary. She's still not out. She breaks the shackles with a lovely cut shot. Is Fanny Utakushimaninde. Lovely shot from the youngster once again. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Shuffled across, met room. Came out of the sweet spot of her blade. No chance whatsoever for the two fielders who could only collect the ball from the boundary ropes. Full ball plays it straight to the field at mid-on, and that should be the end of the first over. 6 runs on board for Team Rwanda. Of course, if you're just joining us, it's Team Rwanda who won the toss and decided to have a bat first. By the looks of it, to share the new cherry with Salem. It's gonna be Tanawanasha. Spin coming in from both sides. No sleeping play. She has a short fine leg and a deep mid wicket and a long off. The only two fielders outside the ring. Left arm orthodox up against Giselle Ishimwe, one of the most experienced players in the Rwandan side. She has the record of most runs in the 5th edition, to be precise, with 327 runs. She did have a good day in the office in her first game. Into the pads, works it on the onside. As she gets off the mark in style, very casually in their running, these two. We saw, of course, Peter in the first game where the South African under-19s took on the misfield, ran very beautifully between their wickets. Something they need to adjust. They were outside in the tents watching the first game, so I believe they learned a thing or two.
One of the things to note from the South African girls was the fact that they were always willing to run between the wicket. They weren't really too into the boundaries, but they made sure that the runs kept on ticking. You look at Mika in the first inning of the batting inning for South Africa, only 6 boundaries, 6 fours, and the rest were run in between the wicket. That just tells you just how prepared they were to make sure that they kept that ball ticking for South Africa. Got a very defendable score, and he aided them in their victory against Ghana.
That's a fumble in the deep, and they don't take on the second run, exactly what we've been talking about. Not the best, of course, there from the experienced Giselle Ishimwe. Shot on the occasion. Rock back on the back footer. Cut away powerfully for her first boundary is Giselle Ishimwe.
Went back and waited for that ball to come into and within reach and slaps it in between the gap. Just made the fielders chase in futility. Very wonderful boundary, very wonderful shot. You could hear the sound all the way from up here. Tells you the amount of power that was put behind that shot. Every single bowler has considered a boundary, has tasted a boundary shot from the Rwandan batters, mostly from Fanny.
Full again on that occasion, plays it down to long off. Very good player she is. Square the wicket is Giselle Ishimwe. Every time she is offered with you gotta be ready to go fetch. Loud appeal on the occasion, but the umpire turns it down as we come to the end of the second over. It is 13 for naught, Team Rwanda. Salem will be bowling a second over from the pavilion end. More spin coming in. No signs of pace. They have, of course, the likes of Christina Mutasa, left arm quicker, and Maposa, the captain herself, who we saw yesterday in their very first game. They are moving the ball, getting that lateral moving, exactly shaping it away from the right-handers. Deep square leg and the deep mid wicket are the only boundary riders.
If there's anything Zappy, if there's anything funny and Gazelle are good at, it is playing very, very frequently and perfectly to the offside of the field. Wherever they see a gap, they play to it. Doesn't matter where the fielder is being placed. As where the ball comes, is where they will send it to.
Tidy lines there from Salem, not giving Giselle any room whatsoever to work with. You can see she is trying to force her to hit her down the ground where she has mid-off and mid-on. Swing and a miss, nearly ricochets it into her own stumps. Not the best of body languages we've seen from the young Giselle Ishime.
Zimbabwe under 19 had a lot of learning to do and lessons to take from yesterday's game. Drove that ball really hard. The fielder, a big dive, but was still behind the ball as that ball reached all the way to the deep point region for a boundary 4.
Full on the occasion, outside off stamper. Lovely square driven by Giselle Ishimwe as she picks up her second boundary. Very electric outfield it is. Kind of outfield that is gonna give you credit for your shot. She didn't even try to overhit that one, but the timing was spot on from Giselle as she moves into double digits. Full again on that occasion, beating the gap between the two fielders that covers at mid-offer. Another boundary, back-to-back boundaries from Giselle's blade.
There is a reason why she's the top run scorer. Look at that shot. It was played with efficiency. Saw the ball, saw the in-swing, and just played it into the gap. I mentioned it earlier. I said if there's anything Fanny and Gazelle do, is play to their offside very efficiently. They find the gaps, regardless of how disturbing that ball is coming to their stumps. And Gazelle has replicated that. Yesterday she went out for 14 off 10 balls. Today she's on 14 with 2 less balls.
Very intelligently done by Giselle Ishimwe. You can't afford to get away on another ball. It is 21 for naught after 3 overs. Moving at exactly 7 runs. Another is the Team Rwanda. Onyasha to ball the 4th over from the Court of Appeal end. She has a long off in play and a deep mid wicket. full on that occasion into the pads. Interesting action there from Mune Nyasha, left arm orthodox. She will be, of course, spinning it away from the right hander. One of the reasons that she has a very well packed offside, backward point covers, and the sweeper at long off. Full ball, hit it powerfully, but there's protection in the deep. A little bit of fumble, but Giselle is not interested in the second run.
Both batters doing very, very excellently well. Fanny up to a slow start, but you can understand she's playing very, very professionally. Regardless of yesterday's performance, she still knows that to get to that level again, or to get close to those figures again, she has to maintain her temperament and stay as long as she can. So what she's focused primarily on is staying in the game for as long as possible. You cannot stay 20 overs and not score at least 50 runs. And finally, we'll look to do just that. On one knee and swept over the infielders. 4 more runs for Gazelle. That ball already going to the left side, and Gazelle just aided it, accelerated that pace to the boundary. 4 runs, 4 beautiful runs. Gazelle being very explosive at the moment. Fanny being the batter this time around to keep her cool. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the comms box, MD. Andy, you took the toss for us earlier. You had the discussion with the captains. How did that go? What was the discussion about?
Clearly, thank you, Peter. Clearly, the intention to bat first by Diane Maria, the captain of Rwanda, just to ensure she sets the tone for what should be a decent and defendable total against the Zimbabwean under-19 side. But we can see that partnership building up already, 26 already from 3.4 overs. Gisele Fanny, we called our Fanny Day yesterday. You can put that day on Fanny. If you remember the history of this tournament, again, brilliant piece of bowling here and by Munesha. And clearly she has a plan. The intent is clear. Difficult customers, left arms. Brilliant shot there. This time she kneels onto that one. Fielder comes around. Will she get hold of it? She does well, but the ball finds the boundary. A much needed boundary for Insinwe. And that brings us to the end of that over.
That was a comfort spot. She put a ball there previously that was punished. A replication of that, saw the same punishment, dug the same hole and fell into it twice. That is what it's called. Fantastic end again, I would say, by Giselle in Shumwe. Didn't really find a rhythm yesterday, but that early upset and loss of wickets gave her enough time to reflect on yesterday's performance, and she's out here doing much more better.
Again, the way this game is being paced, 30 for no loss. After 4 overs, Gisele Ishiwe, she's got the ability, and that's how powerful the depth of the batting of Rwanda is. With Fanny coming from a century, again she's batting here and quietly pacing herself. Let's hope that we see a decent total again, but it's a real test for the Zimbabweans, and for sure the captain herself, Benkosi Maposa, decent line, finding that rhythm. She was very clear. She said she wanted to bowl Rwandans with a smile for under 100. When she said that, she had that gentle and quiet smile.
If there's anything the captain is good at, is her confidence. From yesterday's game, even after yesterday's loss, she wasn't looking very, very upset about it. She saw it more as an experience than a defeat, and that is what you need as a team. And as a leader, you don't pick up need. You need to see the glass half full at all times.
I'll tell you, I agree to that. They're enjoying their moments here. They're probably going to be playing any of these teams later this year. Brilliant line again. She's just lining up Fanny, not giving her room there. The first two ball deliveries were wideish off Fanny. They know how dangerous she can become. Clearly, she paces herself and her innings. Brilliant line, playing just around that one. Missing the line, Fanny, and perhaps should have come down the wicket and looked to score in the V. But also another dot ball, and we can see Shinwe running to give some experience advice that will be welcomed by Fanny. And don't forget the process yesterday. She scored a lot down the wicket, but she takes her time and paces herself. A big shout there again, but this time umpire not interested. Temitokwe Jabbar.
Yeah, that ball, when you look at that ball, certainly pitched outside of leg. There is no way it is given as a wicket. Loud appeal, felt justifiable. The rule stands. It is not a wicket.
She wanted a brilliant maiden over. And that's the end of the fifth over, score at 30 for no loss. But that partnership clearly not building blocks from here. Hopefully they can go beyond that projected 120 score. They have the ability, they have the quality. It is Rwandans, and they have the depth of batting to be able to achieve even more than this. At the moment, the run rate is 6 and over.
Fanny, for the first time, Fanny has faced a very difficult over where she could not even play off or back. It was captain experience versus an outstanding debutant in the national team. The captain won that overs battle. Still many more overs to go, and as long as Fanny is there, she gets comfortable, it is going to be total destruction. For now, Zimbabwe look to have this game in control. 5 overs for 30. Very similar to the start against Ghana yesterday.
Christina Mutasa into the bowling attacker, coming in from the Court of Appeal end. Very good running between the wickets from Giselle Ishimwe and Fanny Utagushima Ninde. Interesting to see how these two are going to play out the left arm quicks. We saw yesterday they are getting some lateral movement with the new cherry, of course. Familiar faces from Giselle Ishimwe and Christina Mutasa, who featured in the Zimbabwe emerging side that played the Kwibuka tournament down the leg side again. Animated appeal from the bowler, but the umpire says not out. That was straying down the leg side. By signal by the umpire. Slowly and steady there from Giselle Ishimwe and Fanny, who is watching a lot of action from the other end. She's faced 17 deliveries for her 6 runs. Batting on day 2 in Test cricket terms. She is yet to be dismissed on debut. 32 for naught after 5.2. How many more is the question? Can they add in the next 4 deliveries? If they can get Peter to anything close to that 40 without losing a wicket, I believe they will be having a very good platform for the next batters to come in. Oh, what a piece of bowling there from Christina Mutasa. Quicker on that occasion. Nearly takes the leg stump out of the ground.
Certainly did come with a fight today compared to the game against Nigeria yesterday. They've picked up momentum from that game, and they're making sure that they will try and have the last laugh. Yesterday in the game against Ghana, and the power play overs, and the complete power play overs. Rwanda had 61 on the board. Today they are nowhere near that, just slightly halfway above it. 31, 32 at the moment after 5.4 balls. Yesterday was 61 at the end of the over. Looking to be in control, I would say, for Zimbabwe. Don't you think so?
Different side. I'll tell you, Peter. It is a very good emerging side, full of talent and skills-wise. Is the Zimbabwe up? Who wants it? Easy catch at pointer. She's been dismissed for her pedestrian knock. Is the younger Fanny Utakushima Ninde, having faced 20 deliveries for her 6 runs as they pick up their very first wicket. Is Christina Mutasa, 32 for 1 after 5.4.
Yeah, I can understand her frustration. She's dotted a lot of ball. This is 20 overs tournament. She just felt the need to hit that. Already made a decision even before the ball has released, and that was the penalty for that. You know, in ODI and Test cricket, it's a matter of how long you stay. In T20, it's how many runs you can put on the board. Dotted too many balls already, and find inexperience finally taking over yesterday. Showed a lot of brilliance, tenacity, and calmness. Today, just felt pressure for the first time today. And that is what you get when you're under pressure as a batter. A boost in confidence and morale for this Zimbabwe side coming from yesterday's performance. Now the captain stepped in herself. This time around, there is going to be 2 experienced players on the pitch, on the field of play, against the side of 11 youthful players.
It's going to be interesting how the captain, of course, who joins Giselle Ishimwe, is going to play out this last delivery. She's been having troubles facing the left arm quicks. She's had a drought of runs here in Nigeria at the TBS with the highest score of 26, and she's been part of all the editions. Bimenyimana Zian, the captain of Team Rwanda, who won the toss and decided to have a bat first. She joined Giselle, finding her side on 32 for the loss of 1 wicket. Inside 5.5 overs, last ball of the power play. Full of the occasion, well played by the captain. And of course, with that dot ball, we come to the end of the power play. It is 32 runs for the loss of 1, moving at 5.3 runs and over is Team Rwanda. Do enjoy some of the highlights of the power play. 23 not out, having faced 15, 5 boundaries, and the new batter in is the captain. Powerplay done and dusted. Maposa will be bowling a second over from the pavilion end. So have a look at her field set. She has a fine leg, third man, deep extra cover for the left arm quick. Coming over the wicket to Giselle Ishimwe. Swing and a miss again, nearly takes the outside edge. Talk about that shaping away from the right-handers. Gotta be very, very careful.
Left-handers have been very, very instrumental in this tournament. With the bat mostly, we're saying one come in there and take control. With the ball, it's been one of the most rarest style of play. But it doesn't seem to pose any trouble for Giselle at the moment. Right arm or left arm, she still plays to her comfort. That ball was to her reach, within her reach. A good bounce, a good length ball. That one bounce to the batter into the middle of the bat, and she sends it beyond the reach of the fielder on middle.
That should be a wake-up call for the fielders, especially the captain who had mid-off and middle inside the ring. She's now deployed a long gone. Courtesy of that lovely boundary of Giselle Ishimwe, straight as the die. Getting a 6th boundary. She's on now 27 of 17. Plays it very late, delicately played. Run out chance. Ooh. But she was willing, is the captain. Very good awareness from these two.
Knowing when to run and knowing that type of risk to take. A good call from Marie, very confident. She knew she was running to the danger end and she called it, knowing the risk involved. Paid off finally. A narrow escape from a direct hit. But she's still there and is in turn to face the left-arm bowling prowess of Maposa.
But again, when you look at that 28 of 18, she's looked very, very composed, this Giselle, and very selective with the 6 boundaries so far that she has scored for her side. Taking her time, she can be very dangerous if she occupies that crease more often.
Yeah, that yesterday early loss of wicket gave her time to go and reflect on what she should have done, and now she should have approached that ball. And I think she has taken corrections from that and has built up momentum, and as well as decision making, knowing when to play and when to sit back.
Full on the occasion, angling into the pads, helped along by the captain. About very good effort in the deeper as they settle for only 1 run. Last ball to come. Already 6 runs coming off for her second over. I don't mind seeing these two building a partnership also. Rocks back on the back foot again. There's protection in the deep. 7 runs comes off the second over of Maposa as we come to the end of the 7th over. It's 39 for 1. There will be a change in the bowling from the Court of Appeal end. Starting off with the fine leg, 3rd man, deep extra cover. And again, the 2 fielders are inside the ring at mid-off and mid-on. I beg your pardon, that's Mutasa. Starts off with a wide in a second over.
Too much swing behind that ball and too wide of the batter's reach. Wide is the call, and there is 1 more run for the Rwandan side. They've been really made to play back. They've not really had that chance to explode like we usually see the Rwandan side do against a little bit of slightly inexperienced squads.
It's going to be interesting to see her 3rd delivery. She's bowled 1 down the leg side and 1 on the offside. Expect to see her bowling it straighter on this occasion. Lovely piece of bowling there from Christina Mutasa. Reminds me of the captain of that emerging side that played the Kwibuka tournament. Nomvelo Sibanda. Left arm quick, very intelligent bowler she is. Pace on that occasion from Christina Mutasa. She is living with herself with the young Giselle Shime. You might feel she's missed out. She loves those kind of deliveries that are bowled into her arc.
Left arm to the right hand bowling, usually a diagonal line of bowling length, and a diagonal bowling line is sometimes proves as an advantage, especially for batters that are very good at playing on the front foot and playing to the offside, balls coming like that usually pose a little bit of discomfort. And Gazelle is trying to find a rhythm at that point. The bowler has understood, having been played earlier, the bowler has understood the assignment and does not want to put the ball on the stumps for Gazelle, seeing how very effective Gazelle is with playing on her front foot.
Lovely shot again. A quick running between these two. Wrong end, you'd say. But they will be very happy with that single. Giselle Ishimga and Diami Menyimana. Trying, of course, to release some pressure from the youngster is the captain. Can't allow, of course, the bowler to get on top of your partner. Watching from the other end. 2 more deliveries to come in her second over. Left alone by the captain. Whites on offer. They don't mind these ones coming in handy. Is Team Rwanda. They have a very good batting lineup. They have the likes of Clarisse Umutono Uwase padded up. Merveille Uwase, who had a very good day in the office with the bat. Put on a cameo of her own. They have Ariete Teresa Ishimwe, who was very quiet in yesterday's game. But we all know the player of her caliber. One of the MVPs in the Nigeria Invitational tournament. Very good bowling there from Christina Mutasa. And they have the likes of Belize Murekatete, who is no rabbit with bat in hand. Alice Ikuze, a genuine all-rounder. So one of these two, they need to bat in the second gear, especially Giselle, who is already into the 30s. She's had a feel of the wicket. Full again from Diani Menyimana, but not enough power behind that shot. And with that dot ball, we come to the end of the 8th. It's 43 for 1. .43 for 1 right after the 8th over. Moving at 5.3. They will need to accelerate and get to that 7 runs and over moving forward. Beloved Biza, another experienced player in the side. She's played ODI for the Chevrons. She possesses a lot of experience in this side. More spin. She has a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, long off. Not deep, extra cover, a region where Giselle Ishimwe loves getting those boundaries.
Late adjustment by Giselle. Luckily, didn't play that ball in the air, just dipped it. At that edge didn't travel as high as it would have on a normal day. Decision to bring in spin, looking to work. Gizera hasn't really been able to tick yet. Played a lot of baseball, and now she has to readapt to a much more slower and technical bowling action.
Very good shot there from Giselle Ishimwe. Full under occasion from our beloved Biza. What an effort in the deeper. Saving her team 2 runs. Looking for the third one is Giselle Ishimwe. Looks like she's woken up. Is Giselle Ishimwe. Very good running between the wickets.
That front foot prowess, I will always admire and compliment it. Trip that ball into the gap. Good stop by the fielder in the deep. Shamin Manyukwi chased that ball all the way and prevented a boundary. Kept 1 run less, reduced a run by just 1, but a run is enough to win you a match.
Another dot ball there from the captain. 7 deliveries she's faced for her one run, dropping all the momentum they had. She almost played in the similar fashion in yesterday's game. One of those days where you ask yourself, was that a right move to send her? Turn on boss on that occasion. Very good running between the wickets.
If the runs aren't coming in front, they can come from behind. She's trying to find that space in front, but the fielding and the bowling was just too tight, and now she decided to play in behind the wicket keeper. A run is a run regardless. 47
for 1 after 9 overs. Still moving at 5.2 runs and over, given that they have a lot of wickets in hand. I'd love to see these two change gears. Look at that batting lineup. Uwase Merveille, wicketkeeper batter, who scored 32, if I'm not mistaken, in yesterday's game. They have the likes of Umutoni Uwase Clarice, Ariete Ishimwe, Alice Ikuzu, Belize Murekatete, who can be very, very handy at the back end. 6 extras bowled by the young lady Chevrons in the 9th over. Two from 26, getting her form back is Giselle Ishimi, but they need her to convert that 30 into a big total. Texalelo Ishimi works it on the onside. A lovely piece of fielding there from a short mid wicket. 2 is the call. It won't only be 2 as the ball goes all the way to the boundary. Much needed boundary, especially coming off the blade of the captain.
She needed that run, and that flick was all it took to boost morale. She's not really had a tuning in the competition in any editions. We all know what Bimeimana Marie is capable of, and she is starting. Giselle picked up from where she left off yesterday. Marie will want to add us to the board.
50 counts up for Team Rwanda inside 9.1. They had 50 in 3 overs, but this is of course a different day, different teams. Lovely shot again. Using the pace of the bowler, 2 should be very easily. Run out chance. And the run out is completed. Comedy of errors there from the captain, unnecessarily done.
Marie had stretched, to try and prevent run shot. She wasn't really there in time, and at that point, she just had to let go of her bat. A decision that cancelled out. If she was having a bat, that bat would have stopped that error. Sadly, she has to go after a lovely boundary to the leg side. She looked like she was starting to pick her rhythm, and the jinx continues for Marie.
That was a lovely shot. Opening up, of course, the full face of the blade, guiding it to third man. The moment that bat left her hands, she would have said no straight away. She wouldn't want to see this on the replay back at the hotel as the young lady Chevrons pick up their 2nd wicket. It's the captain who has to depart. And of course, with that wicket, it is drinks break. But before we go for the drinks breaks, I'll tell you one lesson in the field: never run on a misfielder. And next time when the bat drops, do not take that single.
I will put that into account going forward as I push my career. Thank you very much for that, Bob. And quickly in match summary, Gazelle still in the batting crease, 33 of 26. We finally couldn't continue from yesterday's streak, 6 of 20 balls faced, and Marie Bimenimana has to go out having a start. Just 6 on the board of 9 balls. In the bowling chart, Christina, a left-hander with 1 wicket for just 5 runs after 2 overs. Salem Museka yet to pick up a wicket after 2 overs completed, but that wouldn't matter as Tamoina Nyasha on 0 wicket for 7 after 1 over bowl. These are the best statistics at the moment as we are still in the drinks break waiting for play to resume in the 1st inning. Play is resumed. An early drinks break before the 10th over is completed after that quick fall of wickets. And the person coming in to bat for the Rwandan side, Clarice, who was as explosive, was on very hot form yesterday, pairing with Fanny, helping the team push into that 211 runs mark. And she's here quite early for the captain. Same explosive power as last time. This time around, of 4. That left arm of Clarice dominating. Huge dive from the fielder in the deep.
She doesn't need any sighters. Umutoni Uwase Clarissa as she gets off the mark inside with a lovely boundary into the vacant region. Full again on the occasion, but this time round plays it straight back to the fielder at covers. I love the approach and the intent from the new batter in Umutoni Uwase Clarissa. A lovely shot again, flat batted. Looking for the second is Giselle Shime, but her partner says, hold your horse, young lady. We need to build a partnership if we are to cross that 120 plus. Of course, with that single, we come to the halfway stage of the first innings with the scoreboard reading 57 for the loss of 2 wickets. Beloved Biza will be bowling her second over from the pavilion end. Interesting to see that they have used 7 bowlers inside 10 overs. The young lady chevrons trying out all the tricks in the books. Coming around the wicket to the left-hander. Swinging a miss from Umutoni Uwase Clarissa. Normally she is very good square the wicket. There is no protection at deep extra cover. She will be spinning it away from the left-hander. Is a beloved Biza. She went for only 4 runs in her first. Loud appeal. And the umpire says no, that looked very, very close from up here.
Yeah, I mean, look close from up here, but it's closer for the umpire. And she saw that that ball was coming, but that turn was going to miss the leg stump. Very certainly was going to miss the leg stump. It was a very close goal. Could be and could not be missing the stumps. But the umpire's call is final, and the final decision was not out. Much to the happiness of Clarice.
They normally say in the eyes of the umpire, not out, say it's not out. But I'll tell you that looked very close from up here. She lives to die another day is Mutoni Uwase Clarice. Full on the occasion, well driven. Oh, what an effort from our beloved Biza. Filling off her own bowling. Bring out all the experience she possesses.
The Zimbabwe under 19 don't seem to be having the same issues as yesterday. The same issues that bothered the Ghana women. Bowling to a left and right hand bowler disturbed their bowling line a lot. But that has not proved any form of difficulty for Zimbabwe bowlers. They see the line, they see the batter, and they've picked where they are dropping the ball.
Last ball from her second. down the leg side, spoiling her figures. That would have been a well-deserved maiden from beloved Biza. She would love, of course, to correct that line and length. 58 for the loss of 2 after 10.5. Full ball. There's the fielder. Will drop short. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Over the ropes. 2 boundaries so far from Umutoni Iwase Clarisse's blade. As she ends a very good over beloved Biza with a boundary.
Felt that ball was going to the boundary, but that pitch and that turn was turning into the bat, into the face of the bat, and dealt with properly into that gap. Would have been a maximum ball. Boundary is a boundary regardless. 4 more runs for the Rwandan women. 62 on the board for 2 wickets lost after 11 overs.
Tandiwa comes back to ball her second from the Court of Appeal end. Still moving at 5.6 runs and over is Team Rwanda. They will need to change that. Try and get to that 7 or even 8. No deep extra cover for Giselle Ishimwe. Rocks back on the back footer. And they sneak in a quick run at these two. A little bit of fumble. Look at that awareness from Giselle Ishimwe. There should be 3 runs with ease. Putting pressure on the fielders from Giselle Ishimwe.
The attempt for direct hit on 2 eyes has backfired. The first one missing, prompting Rwanda to want to take another run. And the second one, again, also giving them an avenue, an opportunity for a 3rd run.
Fast run fast, they say. Normally puts the fielders on pressure. Team Rwanda have benefited picking up 3 runs. Laura Pitt again. Run out chance again. Oof. Very casually running there from Umutoni Iwase Clarissa. Got to be very, very careful. You can't afford to give away a run out opportunity to the young lady chevrons. Always a suicidal way to get out.
Clarice didn't really have a good form of game yesterday, even though she started in an explosive manner. Went out for 15. I went out for an LBW.
She's already into double digits. Despite, of course, those 2 boundaries, she's looked to be struggling with the timing. Is Umutoni Iwase Clarisse. Half tracker on the occasion. Rocks back on the back foot. Pull. But there's protection in the deep. They will settle for only 1 run.
Giselle doing quite a very good job taking up from where Fanny left off. Fanny was the man for the team yesterday, being an opening pairing, going in as an opening pair with Giselle yesterday. Today she's out, and our order has to take up that mantle and push this game to the very end.
The beauty of having the left and right hand combination, every time they take a single, the field has to change. And given the way it is very humid and hot here in Lagos, especially to these youngsters, it can work for the Rwandans. In the air this time round, to no man's land. Again, struggling with the timing from Umutoni Iwase Clarisse. But I don't mind seeing her trying to get as many runs as possible for her side.
I would agree with you on the timing. She's especially when dealing with the spin bowler, she's had to make a decision after the first bounce, and that so far has not backfired.
Wides on offer from Tadiwa, misses her line and length. 7 runs coming go for the first 5. They would love to finish on the high is Team Rwanda. And of course, with that dot ball, we come to the end of the 12th. It's 69 for the loss of 2 wickets. Still moving at 5.7 runs and over. Everyone, I believe, is asking when is the time are they going to switch gears Look at that batting lineup once again. Wase Merveille, padded up, very ready. Alongside Ariete Ishimwe Teresa, Alice Ikuzwe, and Belize Murekatete. Beloved Biza at the moment will be bowling her third over. She's been the pick of the bowlers, yet to pick up a wicket, but she's troubled the left-handed batter in Umutoni Iwase Clarice, given of course that she is spinning it away from her, forcing her to hit her at the bigger part of the ground. We haven't seen her go for the slog sweep, one of the shots she's been working on back in her country. Loud appeal again, but the umpire says not outer. Playing against the turn, not working for Umutoni Iwase Clarice.
That decision to always wait after the first bounce to make a decision on the ball is starting to inconvenience her. Now she's starting to feel a little bit under pressure, dotting too many balls off the back of the bat, almost edging on the stumps. And she's lucky, courtesy of a call from Giselle. She goes off strike and adds one more run to our score chart. The field having to adjust again. Very not something that the field inside enjoy a lot, but there's a rule and the rule has to be upheld.
Takes a little shimmy is Giselle. Can see that is a shot out of frustration. It's the dot ball pressure, I'll tell you, Peter. And of course with that single, it's Mutoni Iwase Clarice once again who's facing beloved Biza. Very good sportsmanship there on your screens from beloved Biza and Giselle Ishimwe.
Called a gentleman's sport for a reason. Regardless of whatever is on ground, you know that you play for unity, and cricket is a unifying game. It doesn't matter win or lose, we're all here to enjoy a beautiful game.
They are friends off the fielder, but on the fielder, it means war. A lovely shot, very good connection too. Two is the call from Giselle Ishimwe. She takes on the armor of the fielder in the deep. Good running between the wickets from Giselle Ishimwe and Umutoni Iwase Clarice.
There was no bounce to decide on, and so she went full blown on that ball, attacked it, didn't find the boundary, and very lovely throw from the deep, or I would acknowledge, one bounce to the wicket keeper.
This is very selfless batting there from Giselle Ishimwe. She knew she was running into the danger zone, but she knows every single run matters. Last ball, full again on that occasion. Not enough timing, straight back to the fielder at covers. That should be the end of her third over, going for only 12 runs. 73 for 2 after 13. Getting closer to the back end of the first innings of match day 2, game number 4. Tadiwa will be bowling from the Court of Appeal end. We saw a little bit of a message from the dugout. Let's wait and see. 73 for 2. They have wickets in hand. But again, sometimes the wickets in hand doesn't mean runs on board or even runs on hand. Still moving at 5, and they will need to switch gears and up the ante. Takes a little shimmy up. Who fall in no man's land. A little bit of fumble again from long off. Looking for the third one is Giselle Ishimwe. But her partner is not interested as she dropped her bat.
That lack of interest from Clarice certainly did save that wicket. If Giselle had taken it probability that she wasn't going to get there, and I've seen a similar run out to the previous one that happened to Marie Bimenimana.
She's going to be agile. She's been caught ball watching on a couple of occasions. Is Kalais Mutoni Wase. Giselle, who moves into the 40s. Takes a little shim again. A loud appeal, and the finger is up by the umpire. Interesting decision, you would say there, because she had taken a couple of meters from her crease. She is not the happiest, is the young Giselle Ishimwe. Let's have a look at that again on the replay.
From the release of the ball, she has stepped out, but I think the advancement has given the umpire enough chance to see that ball. He was on the back foot. The back foot was still within measurable range and height range, and it was very, very clear to the umpire that that ball was going to the wicket. Bob would have probably been a much more difficult decision if the contact point was the front foot, but given it was the back foot and she had gone low for that ball, I feel the umpire's decision was actually quite correct.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Shuffled across her. Given that she is bowling the off break, I'll be honest with you, I cannot judge that from up here. But in the eyes of the umpire, out is out. As they pick up their third wicket, is the young lady Chevrons. Is the informer Giselle, who doesn't convert the 40s into the big toto, who departs. Joining Umutoni Uwase Clarice is none other than the wicketkeeper batter Uwase Merveille. A lady who hit the first maximum of the 5th edition. 32 of 19 with 4 boundaries on the 6th with a strike rate of 168 in yesterday's game. Put on a show at the back end to ensure Rwanda scored the highest total on this particular ground in the 5th edition. Tries to play it very late. Very good from the spinners. Right after the power play, they've dominated. Oh, lovely shot. Cheeky and effective. Should be easy too from the duo. I love the approach and the intent from these youngsters.
You don't get to Mwase's level and still be timid on the batting crease, be adventurous, be explosive. She is seeing what's been happening so far, knows how uncomfortable those balls are. Why not just find another direction? And she did just that. Still doing that, been scoring a run in every ball she's faced so far.
She gives the scoreboard taking is Uwase Merveille, but again, a very good point you raised there. These are players who have been on the bigger stage. They featured for the Under-19 World Cup back in South Africa. 7, if I'm not mistaken, of the Rwandan side. They were part of that team. Rocks back on the back footer, but there's protection in the deep. And they will settle for another single at these two. We come to the end of the 14th. It's a 79 for 3. Still moving at 5 runs and over, Peter. What do you reckon will be the final score of the Rwandans?
Oh, even before I judge on that, I just want to see that LB again. It was an easy call for the umpire. Projected score being 113. I would have agreed with that. But the fact that Uwase is in there, I see Rwanda eating 160. Because I expect and I know Moville to always attack the ball at every given point. The balls are not coming too fast, and she's very quick in making decisions. She's going to be there comfortable before the first bounce. She gets that line and she's going for that ball.
160, you had Peter. That means they will need to score 81 more runs. Lovely shot again. What an effort that covers. Run out chance. The direct hit goes begging. She wasn't even in the frame. The fielding has been spot on from the fielders, of course, inside the ring.
Clarice and Wase's batting being responsible for these frequent field changes As long as the ball are taken in singles, the field will always have to rotate to accommodate and stay within the cricket playing rules of onside and offside number of fielders. Late readjustment there from Owasi. Wanted to go for the ball, decided not to, and played off the back foot, keeping a wicket a little bit longer.
Up and over the field at covers. Run out chance again. Wrong end from the fielder in the deep. As they pick up another double at these two. They keep rotating the strike. It is a game of runs on board, Peter. I'm not sure you would want to keep your wicket when you're not scoring for your side.
Still as adventurous as ever. She's not been able to find her onside, offside very quickly with the front shot, and she's trying to go behind. There's not too many fielders, no fielder at the third man region. On the backside, all the fielders are inside, and as such, she wants to find that gap and maximize it.
Takes a little shimmy again up and over the field at covers. That should be an easy double. Or what an effort again with the fielder in the deep who's been very, very busy, saving a team a couple of runs. She's nearly saved more than 10 runs in that particular region, a long off.
Lorraine has been very, very electrifying, stopping Owasi from getting the boundary a little too soon, I would say.
Takes a little shimmy again from Wase Merveille. Can this be yet another maximum? Make that two maximums. Courtesy of Wase Merveille. Taking a liking of Salema. Overball goes for a maximum, much needed 6 for the Rwandans. Let's have a look at that again.
That ball was all for the taking. She's been there. She's seen the line. She's seen the lane. I said earlier that once Owasi sees that line, she's making her decision immediately. And she has seen it, anticipated that ball, and knocked it as hard as possible. Got the first maximum here yesterday, and she's still the same person picking up another maximum. I've tried to find the space on the ground. Lorraine had interrupted several times, and this time she decided to send it above the infielders and the outer ring. Lovely maximum, lovely shot, a boost in the runs, 5 more overs to get to my set target for them. 70 more runs of the next 5 overs. I'm expecting that from this Rwandan batting side.
$90 for 3 right after the 15th over. With that over, of course, going for 11 runs for the very first time. They are moving at 6 runs on over is the Team Rwanda. They would love to capitalize on this and step on the gas. Getting into the back end of the first innings. They have wickets in hand, as we said earlier. They will be very disappointed with themselves if they don't cross that 130 odd runs in the first innings. Shot on that occasion. Punished. Half tracker. Save your legs, young ladies. Dealing in boundaries at the moment at these two.
On the leg side, Clarice is very, very powerful on that leg side. She's been playing more short with a power hand, and that was within reach. There was no need to decide or wait for the ball to, make any turn or expect any turn. She was certain that on that line, and she decided very quickly. Good shot, good power behind it. 4 more runs to the board for Rwanda. Already into the last 5 overs, and all they just have to do at this point is explode.
Full, straight, quicker. Knocks her over straight away, a boundary and a wicket. Mutoni Iwase Clarissa has to depart for her 19. We'd feel that she's done her team. Not a bad job, of course, having contributed that 19 runs. Let's have a look at that again on the replay.
That decision to always wait for that first bounce did backfire. Stop that late reaction, saw that ball go underneath the bat until the stumps, and she has to go out. This is the first time in this tournament today, in this edition of the tournament, that Rwanda are losing more than 3 wickets.
Told you it's a different day, different team. They're playing, of course, a very well talented team of the young lady chevrons. When you look at exactly that wicket, took a little shimmy and she bowled it quicker and straight, outfoxing, of course, Omutoni Uwase Clarice.
That was that wicket again. That ball was deep in. Good shot offered, but late reaction. And we finally get to see Henriette. But Henriette is the third highest run scorer in this tournament with 227. Didn't have the chance to add to the board yesterday. And she's here on the crease for the first time in this edition and against a young Zimbabwe on the 19 side.
Up against, of course, the red-hotted spinners. She will be spinning it away from the right hander, the new batter in Henriette Ishimwe, who loves playing it inside outer. She doesn't have much to work with to get her eye in. She would want to go from ball one, which gives a very big opportunity to the young lady chevrons to tighten the screw full and straight again. Oh, very harsh, you would say there from the umpire. I would love to see that again on the replay. That looked like it was well within the reach. Lovely shot from Henriette Ishimwe. Doesn't need any sighters. She loves playing on this particular ground at the Tafawa Balewa Square. She has scored plenty of runs and she has broken a lot of records on this particular ground. As she gets off the mark in style, rocked back on the back footer, came out of the sweet spot of the blade, no chance whatsoever. The moment the ball leaves the fielders, you'll need to only fetch it from the boundary ropes.
On that line, there was no ball that was going, there was no amount of tone that was going to bring it to the wicket. It was at the batter's discretion, and she used that much to the benefit of her team.
Sure, these youngsters have done their homework. She scored 70% of her runs on the offside. As we see, the Lady Young Chevrons are deploying a deep extra cover. A very good field setting. In there this time round, oof, nearly takes a blinder is the bowler Tawanlasha. As we come to the end of the 16th Isa, 99 for the loss of 4 wickets into the back end of the first innings.
Clearly, the partnership there for you, Fani and Ishimwe, 32 runs, partnership of 35 deliveries. Clarice, 23 of 24, alongside with Ishimwe. She stuck around for a long time, but no major cost there. In 16 overs bowled, 99 for 4. Current run rate sitting at 6.1. These Zimbabweans have been able to keep this Rwandan side calm. Skipper earlier wanted them to score below 100. Unfortunately, we're already on 99, so projected score 125. Henriette Anuwase, 3 and 13 of 3 and 8 respectively. She goes big at this one. We'll get a couple. Yes, a single there. Do they want a second one? No. Brilliant fielding there. The century comes up in the first ball of the 17th over. These two have been around long enough in this tournament's history to know how this wicket plays. The short pitch on the back foot. No is the call. Brilliant fielding. Wase looking to get a single, but that wouldn't happen now. Moneyash shot. Still haven't gotten a wicket, only considered 10 so far. One run in that over. She comes down the wicket, who misses out on the stomping. She knows that's a lost opportunity. Henriette knows it. She wants it. She would have gotten it. This is a promising encounter, and thanks to our sponsors, Providence Bank, Russo Adversary, and Dafabet. And Nigerian Breweries joining the pack of supporters for this tournament. Flighted again, this time brilliant piece of work by the fielder and just a single.
Very good feeling in the cover region. The fielders inside the ring from the young lady Chevrons, they have saved their side a lot of runs. Monanyasha, on the other hand, she's still looking for her first wicket. Rocks back on the back foot, not enough timing. There's a sweeper cover. There's a sweeper field, I beg your pardon, but they will scamper for 2 runs. You'd feel Merveille Ouasse has missed out on that golden opportunity. Normally she is a strong player, square the wicket. She's hit 2 maximum so far in this 5th edition. If she can bat throughout the 20 overs, I believe that 103 can get closer to 130.
This time she sweeps that one on the nail. That will be a much needed boundary. Ouasse clearly understands what she's here to do. Yesterday we saw her in the late rally.
Lovely shot again, half tracker, created room into the vacant deep mid wicket region. Deep square leg region for another boundary, much needed boundary. She moves into the 20s, is Ouasse Merveille. As we come to the end of the 17th, 107 for the loss of 4.
Yesterday we saw Ouasse with that partnership with Fanny, building gradually, rotating strike, understanding when is her turn she can go through. And she batted beautifully and calmly at the beginning of her innings. And then when Fanny got that 100, we saw her accelerate. And that's what we are seeing here. She seems to be the finisher Rwanda has. And Henrietta there has the ability. And so we can't underrate these two. Those 4 wickets can be deceptive, but these two can bat.
Interestingly, Andy, she's played most of her career as an opener, and this time round, she is turning out to be a very good finisher for the Rwandan side. Turning out to look, of course, like she's found her spot at number 5. Taking their time to set the right field. They have a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, a deep extra cover, and a long off. Takes a little shimmy. Is Shimmy Henriette allowing the red-hotted Ouasse Merveille, who's striking it at 181 to take strike.
The numbers don't lie. 20 of 11. Henrietta 6 of 7. And that partnership they're looking for, the current run rate still sitting around 6.2. Hopefully we see a defendable and decent total to make this game interesting. 120s, 130s.
Talking about making this game interesting, this is the only team that has tested the middle order batters over the Rwandan side. Another dot ball. Very good bowling there from Tawananyasha. She's picked up a wicket, of course. She's gone for 17 runs in her 2.2 overs. Left arm orthodox, spinning it away from the right hander. Calls for a big slog sweeper. Should be an easy double once again. Still looking for those boundaries.
Joining us is the man behind this tournament. I'm sure we're all wondering what is happening here today, but the Zimbabwean under-19 team trying to squeeze something out of these Rwandans. Plenty of experience between both teams. Brilliant shot there towards the cover region. They've gotten 2 runs from that one. The score moves on to 112 for 4 after 17.4. The president of Nigerian Cricket Federation, they call him Dr. Uyi Akpata, will be joining us for a few comments to give our viewers all around the world the perspective to this tournament. Dr. Uyi Akpata, you are welcome. I'll leave you with Bob.
Thank you very much.
Takes a little shimmy once again, but this time, Butterfingers The midfield allowing them to pick up yet another boundary. She is dealing in boundaries. Is Uwase Merveille. Everything she's touching is starting out to be gold for the Rwandan side. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Full on that occasion took a little shimmy. Would have been a dot ball. And turns out to be a boundary, much needed boundary here for the Rwandans. 28 from 15 once again from the young Uwase Merveille. As I also welcome the president of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, Mr. Uyi Akpata. Welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you very much.
And my first question was going to be, how does it feel as a nation, of course, and in Africa in general, bringing the likes of test-playing nations like Zimbabwe and South Africa here in Lagos?
No, I'm really super excited, and this is just actually built on the platform of the relationships we've established under ACA, where South Africa and Zimbabwe are now playing a big brother role, as it were. So the presidents of both federations came good, and their respective CEOs. So hopefully this is the beginning of good things to come, not only for Nigeria but the rest of Africa associates.
You had the man as Merveille closes off that over with another boundary, back-to-back boundaries. 120 for the loss of 4 right after the 18th over. Let's look at the last boundary. Full on that occasion. She took a little shimmy, piercing the gap at backward point. No chance whatsoever from the fielder, covering a lot of ground from deep extra cover. Into the penultimate over. They've blown some lungs at these two as they take a breather from the 12th man, Shakira, who joined, of course, the squad yesterday. She will be also eager to join the party. Early days in the tournament. As I also ask again the president, what message can you send and how can we improve the likes of Team Ghana, who have not played international cricket for the last 3 years? How can we improve in their games? We all know the Asian countries have been supporting each other.
Yeah, you're right, but Ghana being here is deliberate, and you will see that more than half the team came from their under-19 side. Unfortunately, they didn't take part in the qualifier B last year, and Nigeria invited them here to take part in a tri-nations or tri-series with selected side from the senior team in preparation for our under-19 going for the finals last year. And you will see, or we've seen, that there's been significant improvements already. Hopefully, this tournament presents us with an opportunity of getting the best across Africa, but also getting our West African teams to be part of this tournament. So many objectives for us. One of them is seeing really Ghana coming good. I mean, they've sustained both matches, low totals, but they've managed to held their wickets and completed the 20 overs. So baby steps, but I think we'll get there. We're resilient, and I'm sure they will come good.
Maposa is back into the attack to bowl the penultimate over. Bowling it way out of the reach over Ariet Ishime. These two have been putting on a show of their own. Always a joy to see batters playing at the back end. 121 for the loss of 4. 18.1 overs. Wide ball again from Maposa. Missing her line and length. Coming back to that point, do we expect as you can tell our lovely viewers, do we expect to see more teams in the 6th edition next year?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, again, thanks to Zimbabwe and South Africa come through. I mean, very late in the day, 2 other countries wanted to join, but it would have been a logistics nightmare. Hopefully, we're looking at getting 8 teams next year. The dates have already been fixed from about 11th to 22nd of March next year. Invites sent out early. The platform that's been established from this year's tournament will be attracting people not only from Africa, hopefully from Europe. We want to make this one of the best organized female events in the region, and generally, as we said, marking it at the month of international women, it becomes a big brand that people can look out for.
Up and over, one bounce over the boundary ropes. Much needed again, boundary from Ishime Ariete. Ball into her arc and out of the park. Shuffled across. Came out of the sweet spot of the blade. And of course, they are not learning the lesson again. The young lady chevrons. Keeping a fielder inside the ring for Ariete Ishino, who's scored a lot of runs on the offside. And they are paying the price. 126 for the loss of 4, 18.3. How many more can these two add on the total? We spoke about how we are targeting 120 runs. If they can get to 145, I believe we have a game on our cards. In the air again, but there is a fielder in the deep part, long gone, who takes a very beautiful catch to dismiss, of course, Ariete Ishine, who was looking to clear the fielder at long on. Salem Museka, who takes a very, very good catch, and Maposa picks up a wicket. It's the end of that little cameo from Ariete Ishine. 126 for the loss of 5. As you see, Alice Ikuzo, shot number 23, joining Uwase Merveille. What message can you tell our lovely viewers, given that a lot of people are following and they have been impressed with what they are watching live here?
Yeah, we're very impressed. Records already established. The young lady yesterday on her debut, 110 runs. That's just fantastic. That's why we've done all of these. The quality, this is the 5th edition. Quality just continues to amaze me. That's what we're achieving there. But guess what? The person who will just be smiling most in all of these, seeing the standards and quality, will be Patricia Kamberami, who this tournament is named after. She drove us to do this, and I'm sure she's just looking down saying, yes, I'm proud of everyone. I've been touching what she's done for Africa cricket, particularly women. So let's respect what this tournament is all about beyond the entertainment value that is presented on the pitch.
Takes a little shimmy straight away. She doesn't need any sight of this Alice Ikuze. Two fielders converging. Very good fielding. Carrying it only to 2 runs. This is exactly what we've been talking about earlier on. This one inside the bat very, very deep. Alice Ikuze joining Uwase Merveille and picking up a double with ease. To put you on the spot, Mr. President, who do you think is going to win this 5th edition?
Yes, I'm sure if I say Nigeria, they'll say I'm biased. So I know I will lose anyway. So let's everyone assume I'm biased when I say Nigeria will win.
You had the gentleman, the president of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, saying Nigeria will take this to make sure they pick up their 3rd edition. It's the end of the penultimate over. It's 129, 130, I beg your pardon, for the loss of 5 as we come into the last 6 deliveries of the first innings of match day 2, game number 4 of the day. Let's have a look at that batting charter of Uwase Merveille. Still not out for her, 32 of 16 with a very good strike rate of 200. Very good contributions from Giselle Ishine, 40 of 32, 6 boundaries, and 19 from Umutun Uwase Clarissa. And Alice Ikuzwe, who's still out there, 4 from 2. 12 extras being bowled by the young lady chevrons into the last 6 deliveries. Allow us to allow the president to go have some iced coffee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Keep
All
up
right.
the good work.
Okay.
Last 6 balls here. It was a very short and brief interview with the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation. It's Christiana who looks to finish things off from the Court of Appeal, and 130 already on the board. Anything now will be over and above. But I'll tell you what, you can't take anything away from these Zimbabweans. Clearly, that intent is there, and we see how they've matched themselves. But the deep batting lineup of the Rwandans have made things really, really difficult here. Brilliant dead bowling there by Christiana.
Very good bowling there from Christina Mutasa. Targeting that white line. Interesting, there's no deep extra cover from the young lady chevrons. Only 3 fielders are outside the ring, I believe. It's because of that slow over rate where they've been penalized. Up and over again. Should be easy too. She is very quick between the wickets. Is Alice Ikuzu, given that she was running to the danger zone. She makes it. 34 runs coming go for. Her blade is Wasi Merveille. She's been very, very handy at the back end. Our mate said that he is expecting Rwanda to score 160. Peter, you tell us in the second innings. Lovely shot on one knee. Half tracker again. A lot of work to be done in the deep. The fielding has been superb from the young lady Chevrons. Good running between the wickets as they pick up another 3 runs to add to the total.
Brilliant. She got on nil, expected it, and straight away the chase was on, covering plenty of grounds there. And that fielder just ensuring that a run was saved. Yeah, Uwase 37 handy of 19 deliveries. The current run rate is 6.9. This is written promising around this game. It will be nice to see Zimbabwe come down on this chase, but they've been very disciplined enough to ensure the Rwandan side stay within reach and touch, and hopefully we have a brilliant chase in the second innings.
Full again, throws the kitchen sink at that one. And she picks up a boundary with Eva the genuine all-rounder Alice Ikuzwe. Very good over. The last over it is turning out to be for the Rwandans.
I see it again. The ship ready, always ready to go at it. Trigger movement, very positive outlook. Alice Ikuzwe.
Very good cameo there from Alice Ikuzwe. 8 of 3. It is still early days in the tournament, but every single win matters moving forward, given that Rwanda will be playing, of course, South Africa under 19 and Nigeria. Wide-ish delivery there, and the umpire obliges.
And clearly, it's going to come down to those top 3-4 teams. South African under 19, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, and Nigeria. Even though Zimbabwe have lost to Nigeria yesterday, but how they pan out today, eventually, within South African U19s, Rwanda and Nigeria, 2 teams there are going to drop points. It will be interesting to see how they place after tomorrow.
They will say it again, coming back to the young lady Chevrons who've already lost a game. I would love to see them come out with a very positive intent, play mature cricket. Yes, they're still on the under 19s. A little bit of friendly on the occasion, no chance. Those two seem to be communicating on different networks. Vodafone and MTN.
A great network, but brilliant big hands there from the fielder in the dip, just ensuring it would just be a single. Uwase will be facing the last delivery of this innings. 141 for 5. How much more can they add? Let's see. Christiana to Uwase. This time they scramble for a single, run out opportunity, missed. They're coming for a second one. As brilliant running between wicket by Alice Ikuzwe. Very brilliant finish there. 143 for the loss of 5 wickets in a lot of 20 overs. Run rate 7.1. This is a decent total. However, it's within reach because it's just over 6 and over. 143 for 5 in 20 overs. Zim needing 144 to win. That's the match summary for you. Ishinwe 40 of 32, Uwase 39 of 20, and Clarisse 19 of 23. Bowling figures there.
Tawanyasha picking up 1 wicket, went for 29, a little bit expensive in her 3 overs. Maposa 17 runs from her 3 overs, picked up a wicket, and Christina Mutasa 1 for 18 in her 3 overs. And Rwanda have made sure they've set a very, you'd say, good total on this particular ground. 145 I beg your pardon, 144 is what the young lady chevrons will need to register their very first win. Do enjoy some of the highlights as we'll be back shortly for the chase of match day 2, game number 4. Hello and welcome back for the chaser over match day 2, game number 4 of the Nigeria Women's Invitational Tournament. Live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos as the umpires make their way out there in the middle. Temitope, Onikoi and Deborah. And the 2 openers for the young lady chevrons are none other than chat number 94, Nicolette Nika, alongside the experienced Beloved Biza will be opening the batting for the young lady chevrons, and with the ball in hand, it's going to be the captain taking matters into her own hands. Coming in to bowl very fast over from the pavilion end. If you're just joining us, of course, Rwanda won the toss earlier and decided to bat fast, and they could only manage to get to that 143 for the loss of 5 in their allotted 20 overs, sending the target to the young lady chevrons of 144 in the next 120 balls. Should be a good game to watch wherever you are. She has a sleeping play in Rosin Irera, third man. Interestingly, they have only one fielder outside the ring. Beloved Biza to face the very fast ball of the chase. A lovely shot down the ground. One away to get off the mark using the full face. Lovely cover drive from the experienced Beloved Biza. She loves pace on. She doesn't need any sighters as she gets one over the boundary ropes.
Very, very good start by the batter off the front foot into the gap. Rwanda getting a taste of their own medicine. 140 is what is needed now, and Zimbabwe look every very good and wonderful start, and it looks very, very attainable. That first 4-run of the first ball boost, they've actually kick-started it.
A dream start there from my Beloved Biza and the young lady chevrons as they deploy a long offer after that boundary. They spoke about how they had only one fielder outside the ring, Peter, and now they have noticed that mistake, sending the fielder at long off. She is a very good batter, is a Beloved Biza. She didn't have a good day in the office with the bat in yesterday's game. Soft hands, change of pace from the captain. Works it on the onside as they keep the scoreboard ticking, allowing her partner Nicolette to have a go. So of course in the first innings, the young lady chevrons using nearly 8 bowlers in their 20 overs. 4 of those 8 bowlers were spinners. I beg your pardon, 5 of those bowlers were spinners. It's going to be a matter of time to see when the captain is going to introduce the likes of Rosin Irea Usabjimana and the young Shimimana Rosette. Another dot ball from Diana Minimana. She's trying to see one of the reasons she's opted to open the ball, if she can get that lateral movement, shaping it away, of course, from the right hand as well. She has a sleeping play, backward point, covers a fully packed offsider. She brings in the fielder from long off inside the ring. Cut away powerfully straight into the backhand hands of Alice Ikuze as she draws fast blood. That lateral movement from the captain that made sure she breaks this partnership as soon as possible, as Nicolette has to depart without damaging the scorebook.
Wanted to replicate what she did, what Beloved did earlier, and swung her bat to the offside ball that was already going on for, and that middle contact slow down the ball and put it in the hands of the awaiting Alice Ikwizi at point region.
I beg your pardon, I think that was Umutoni Uwase Clarice at pointer. We'll have to look at that again on the replay. But what a gem of a ball from Diana Minimana. Look at that movement, shaping it away from the right hander. I believe that's Mutoni Uwase Clarice who took the catch. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Rwandans as they pick up their first wicket. Tadua Garusta joins Beloved Biza at the crease. They would love to pick up as many wickets as they can. Is the Team Rwanda if they are to pick up yet another win in this 5th edition. She's picked up 85 international wickets. Is the captain, Diane Menyimana. Nearly takes the outside edge, keeping a tattoo on the occasion from Diane Menyimana. Would love to close off the very first over without conceding many runs. 10 ball, same result as we come to the end of the first over, 5 for 1. The Zimbabwe under 19 side.
And another wicket for the Meimana Marie. The first wicket for. It was just, she has not really found that tempo and that rhythm in the batting aspect. But in the bowling, she's been very, very productive. In the last game, bowled 2 overs, giving out, getting a wicket, and an economy of 14 dots. Very massive. She's not really had a rhythm yet, but our all-rounder ability is also complementing where she's lacking at the moment.
Going to be more spinner from the young Rosine Irera, who will be bowling from her favorite spot at the Court of Appeal end. She's picked up a couple of wickets from that end. She has a sleeping play and a deep square leg and a long on. A tricky bowler she's become. Nearly bowls 6 different deliveries. Not an easy bowler to pick. She did have a good day in the office in yesterday's game. She's picked up 76 wickets in T20 internationals at a very young age. Starts off with one angling into the pads, worked on the onside. A lot of work to be done in the deep from Belize Mrekatete. Very good arm she has, and they pick up a double.
That 1 wicket for us seemed to slow down the batting of Zimbabwe. Now they are playing the ball with much more composure and calmness. That first 4 runs of the first ball have put their confidence on a whole new pedestal. That wicket has brought them back and let them know that they are up against a very top associate playing nation.
A push on that occasion from our beloved Biza, but what an effort from the captain delaying them that quick single. She has to be very careful batting with her partners is beloved Biza. You gotta expect her to try and see if she can even play out the power play first. Goes for a big sweep shot, beats everyone including the wicketkeeper. But the fielding today has been spot on from both sides. Allowing now Tadiwa to take strike up against Rosine Ilera, who's been bowling some enticing deliveries, trying to force the batters to hit her down the ground.
No, in the intended direction, I would say, but there was enough space in the opposite direction for a single. Beloved is now back on strike.
You know, it's the wicket they are targeting at the Rwandans of beloved Biza, who is already on 8 or 5. Soft hands are watchfully played by the experienced beloved Biza. For a big sweep shot, but there is protection in the Belize Mrekatete, who cuts it off to only 1 run. We come to the end of the second over. It is 10 for 1. The Zimbabwe under 19s. It's the captain who will be bowling her second over. She drew fast blood for her side, getting the first wicket. Full of the rocket. From up here in the commentary box. Tells you how excited they are to get rid of beloved Biza, who is still on 9 of 8. That was bowled very full. She needs to be very, very careful. Trying to access the onside, given the way she's moving the ball. At this time round, get it on the full. A lot of work to be done by the youngster in the deeper. But she will be playing second fiddle on that as she picks up yet another boundary. Is beloved Biza as she moves into double digits without boundary.
Yesterday, she almost posed a bit of problem for Nigeria. And that ball on that favorite side of the field on the leg side, what she just had to do was just feed off the pace and send it into the deep region. She was posing a bit of a problem for the Nigerian side until she was dismissed. If Rwanda want to keep this game and finish it as quick as possible, their primary target is beloved.
A lovely piece of bowling there from the captain. Threatening the outside edge of beloved Biza. They would love, of course, to see her sticking to that channel. She has a long off in play in Ishimwe and Riete, and a third man. Expect to see her bowling it way outside of stump. Edged. And what a take from Rosine Irera. They pick up the big fish over beloved Biza. That wicket was coming. Courtesy over that lateral movement from the captain, Bimenyimana Dian, as she picks up her second wicket. Not many times we've seen her opening the bowling, but let's have a look at that again on the replay. She had a slip for that exactly outside edge. Look at that shape. But what a take from Rosine Irera. She kept her eyes on the ball.
Experience again from Marie. She identifies beloved favorite short balls on the stump. She's been very consistent in playing straight. Added that little swing to it, making sure the ball nicked off the bat to the arms of our fielder in the sleeps.
They know, of course, the Rwandans have done a tremendous job picking up 2 wickets inside the power play, and especially the wicket over beloved Biza, a player who has played ODI for her nation. Look at that, caught fishing, taking the outside edge. Look at that celebration from the captain. It tells you how big the wicket it is for the Rwandans, who are looking, of course, for their second win, and their opposition side are in desperate need of a win. They lost yesterday against the host, of course. Lorraine joins Atadiwa. 2 new batters at the crease. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Rwandans, you'd say, Peter.
Yeah, one of the 2 batters to score double digits yesterday. She scored 22 for Zimbabwe yesterday. The highest individual score for the Zimbabwe under 19 side against the Nigerian women. And today, she would need to better that as they're chasing. Yesterday, they had to set the runs on the board. This time, they have a target.
Last ball to come from her second over. They've already put the young lady chevrons on the back foot, having lost 2 wickets for just 14 inside 2.5. Nearly takes the outside edge again as we come to the end of the third over. It's 14 for 2.
that edge was so good. We just had to watch it twice. The shot was accurate. The shot was the right movement, but just that late turn and that wonderful catch went. You have to just acknowledge and appreciate that reflex. You see that ball beyond the gloves of the wicketkeeper, anticipate it, and have it within your grasp.
More of a test wicket, you'd say there, Peter. The coaches would be very, very happy. Rosine Irera will be bowling her second from the Court of Appeal end. She took a very good catch in the slip cordon. Loud appeal on the occasion, and the finger is up. The wicket brings another as Rosine Irera picks up the wicket over Tadiwa. That wicket for the young lady chevrons to fall inside the power play.
I like what I'm seeing here. Rosie hasn't picked up a wicket in the last two matches. She didn't pick up a wicket in the last match of the Africa 1 qualifiers against Ghana. Didn't pick up one in one of the matches. Couldn't pick up one yesterday against Ghana. She was desperately in need of a wicket to continue our bowling form, and that is a reward. A very nice LBW. And Zimbabwe, the young lady chevrons, now feeling the heat of the moment.
Not only the heat, this is one of those days where you want your experienced players to bring out their A game, and this is exactly what they have done, courtesy of Diane Bimenyimana, the captain, bringing herself to open the bowling, and she's picked up 2 big wickets. And the young Rosine Irera, who didn't open the bowling yesterday, but I mentioned earlier, she has a lot of tricks in her bowling, a lot of variations. She will give you 6 different deliveries. New batter in Nokutenda. Back-to-back wickets. She is on a hat-trick in no time, is Rosine Irera. Nokutenda comes and goes. Make that 4 wickets inside 3.2 overs for the young lady chevrons. They look to be out of answers at the moment here at the Tafawa Balewa Square, being outfoxed by Rosine Irera, giving them the same medicine.
An anticipation, that forward shot expected a higher ball. That late turn just into that gap between bat and body, and that wicket was dislodged, much to the upset of the young lady chevrons. Salem, one of the most destructive bowlers in the first inning, has had to come in very, very early and still within the power play over.
What a turn there from Rosine Irera in no time. She's on a hat-trick. Let's see which fielder she's going to set for the new batter in Salem. They've made sure they're not letting anyone settle at the crease from the young lady chevrons. 14 for 4 after 3.2 overs. Turning out to be a walk in the park for the Rwandans, having picked up 4 massive wickets up front. Already half the side is back into the dugout. Hat-trick bowler we've seen so far in the 5th edition, in all the 5 editions. The likes of Ishimi Arieta has picked up a hat-trick on this particular ground. Can she be yet another bowler from the Rwandan side to pick up a hat-trick? She has a short cover in Diane Bimenyimana. Only 1 slip in play. I would have loved to see her bring in even a leg slipper, given the way the ball is getting that patches out of the wicket. She has a backward point cover, mid off, and short mid wicket. Salem will be facing the hat-trick ball.
Win responsible for delay dislodging the bills. Play can resume as Rosine is a wicket, I would say. Is it?
Hat-trick ball. Slightly balls it away from her reach. She won't take a hat-trick. She will have to wait again. Is the young Rosine Irera, but they don't mind the dot balls coming in handy. Goes for a big cut shot, gets that inside edge. And the 2 fielders converging, but they'll just collect the ball from the boundary ropes. As she gets off the marker with the boundary is Salem. Much needed here boundary for the young lady chevrons, we'd say.
Yeah, under the bar edge. not on the wicket, but it was very, very good. Just out of the reach of the wicket keeper and way too low for first sleep to have a reflective dive. Big boost or a little bit of boost to the batting order of the Zimbabwe. 4 wickets already in less than 4 overs. That is massive. It's going to disrupt their tempo, but they seem to be a little bit balanced given that Salem is here and already off to a great start.
Look at that turn again from Rosine Irera. But again, you would ask yourself why she doesn't have even 3 slip fielders in that region. Given, of course, that they have already put the young lady chevrons on the back foot. And, of course, with that dot ball, we come to another good over from the Rwandans, courtesy of Rosine Irera, picking up 2 wickets. It is the end of the 4th, 18 for 4.
That was the first wicket appeal, the LBW late turn, and this was even more beautiful. A googly that had the batter very, very confused. Good shot, good display of bat, but the ball had the better laugh.
Diane will be bowling a third over on the trot. In the air this time round, up, and the catch is being taken as easy as you want from Usabjimana Slivia at backward pointer. As Diane Bimenyimana once again picking up a 3rd wicket inside the power play. Make that 5 wickets down for the young lady chevrons for just 18 runs.
Decimating the batting order. Lorraine couldn't even put a run on the board before going out. Same line, same length, same destruction. Always looking for that tip on the edge of the bat, and she's getting what she wants. She's playing on the inexperience of this side, and it is working to the Rwanda side advantage.
In no time, Christina Mutasa is out there at the crease. The captain, I beg your pardon. That was the catch, as easy as you like. From the young Usabjimana Slivia. Diane, of course, doing magic and wonders with the new cherry. One of the skills she's really worked on, moving that ball away from the right-handers. It has picked her 3 wickets so far. She won't give you a lot of pace to work with. Captain leading from the front, they say. The big question here is who's going to win the battle between the 2 captains. Christina Mutasa, who, I beg your pardon, it's Ton Maposa, it's Christina Mutasa, who's well known of her bowling. Swing going to miss again, unnecessarily short once again, given that you've lost 5 wickets. I would love to see them playing out the Bimenyimana. Don't give her any other wicket.
Marie just wants to put all the blames on the batter. She's had them put themselves in a very difficult spot. 2 intended shots, 1 edge into the hands of the sleep. She does not want to have anything to do with the fall of bills. A great stop, great backup by the fielder on the mid-off region. Christina still yet to take the board. Lorraine, after 2 balls faced off the 3rd ball, went out. Christina is not being given a chance to even try and take off the ball for herself. Not looking good for Zimbabwe at the moment.
Laula Pira again, but the umpire says not out is Temitope Onikoyi.
The decision to, put a lot of swing behind the ball is to our disadvantage. At some point, that ball was swinging out, pitched outside of leg, going. We know the rules, Bob. Any balls outside of leg is a no-brainer.
Don't throw me under the bus. Earlier you sounded like you are an umpire. That looked like it pitched way outside leg stump. The only thing I believe that can only save Christina Mutasa. 2 deliveries to come, yet to concede the run is the captain. Oh, very lovely shot there from Christina Mutasa as she gets off the back with a lovely flick into the vacant final leg region. Again, not a bad delivery there from the captain.
Did anticipate that ball before the release. She had already expected that swing again. The ball was coming, put the bat at the right place, right timing, fed off the pace, and a boundary was the reward. 4 more runs.
Very good wrist work there from Christina Mutasa. 4-4. Last ball to come from the captain, Tiani Minywana. It was turning out to look like a maiden wicket, but with that boundary, swing and a miss again. Another dot ball. 4 runs coming off a third over. It is the end of the 5th. 22 for 5 after 5. Last over of the power play. That was the boundary. Well picked on to the pads. Into the vacant 5-leg region for a boundary from Christina Mutasa. The captain has decided that Rosine Irera and herself will be bowling the power play. She sticks with the fielder in slips. Plays it very, very later. Straight to the fielder at backward point. Mutoni Iwase Clarissa.
The bowling order, the bowling duo of Marie and Rosine are doing a very good job. But these 2 batting duos are understanding. They've seen the balls from the outside. They are there now facing the ball. They see it even better and they've understood the bowling actions, the bowling line, and that was the result. Waited patiently, saw the turn to the end and played into the gap. Big 4 for the young lady chevrons.
Poor bowling, you would say there from the player of her caliber in Rosine Irera. Hit me ball and Salem pouncing on that opportunity, given that they only have 2 fielders outside the ring and have 2 boundary riders. It's only actually 1 boundary rider at deep mid wicket, deep square leg, I beg your pardon. Much better line and length there from Rosine Irera. Last three balls to come in the power play. 26 for 5. Almost the same stage where Rwanda was, but the difference is the wickets. What a shot, upish and over the field at mid-offer for yet another boundary. These 2 are dealing in boundaries is Salem and Christina Mutasa.
That extra bounce, that patience, and that extra bounce from the ball aided, that skip over the fielder in the inner ring. The runs are starting to come now, but can the wicket actually stand the test of time in this inning?
Again, when you look at as they move into the 30s, when you look at the field placing, Ishimwe Arete at mid-off, she was way wide. She has a cover. There's a point and a backward point. Edged. Chips in a late dive is Umutoni Iwase Clarisse, but in vain, allowing these 2 to pick up a double once again.
It's nice to see Salem come in and take charge. Was good for the team with the ball, bowling 3 overs, giving out just 18 runs and picking up a wicket herself. She's there now and she does not want to give back what she took.
Last ball in the power play. A very good over it is turning out to be for the young lady chevrons. 10 runs so far. Turn and bouncer. And that dot ball brings us to the end of the very, very fruitful power play for the Rwandans, making sure half of the side from the young lady chevrons is back into the dugout. No extras, not even a single extra being bowled in the power play. Shows you how disciplined they have been in their six overs. 32 for 5. Allow me to take a short break.
It is 112 runs from 84 balls required. Zimbabwe under 19 will have to do more here. 5 wickets gone. Numbers, they say, don't lie. Tax here requiring per over is 8 runs and presently sitting on 5.3. Christiana and Salem looking for that partnership. Hopefully they find something for a decent total. Yesterday, Zim only managed 80 odd. Playing around that one. Umpire not interested. Another dot ball. Henrietta. Just a dot ball. Real hard work required here by this young Zimbabwean.
And we're coming in to bowl to Christina.
Straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. Henrietta just making life a little bit difficult here. 5 wicket loss. The pressure is on. Excusing things here. This tournament, clearly good experience for this young Zimbabwean under 19 cricketers. Rwanda seems to be enjoying the fray of things and proceedings here. If you're just joining in, it's the 5th NCF Women's Invitational. Brilliant shot, but this time out to pierce the field at mid-off. This is a brilliant shot. Cream of power behind that one. A much needed boundary.
Sat on the back foot and waited patiently for that ball to sink in. Played hard. Even that attempt, that dive, wasn't quick enough to intercept all that power. A lovely boundary, and the Zimbabwe on the 19 side are doing very, very well.
There's been dominance by Rwanda till this time. This time just try to push that one onto the gap around mid-wicket, trying to shape up. And that brings us to the end of over number 7. The score is 36 for 5. Goes big this time, inside out, over extra covers, another boundary. It's looking like we'll see some aggression here by Christiana. That's end of the 7th over, score 40 for 5. It's a brilliant shot over extra covers for a much needed one. Bowling figures here. It's been Maria Diane, who's been the danger on 3 wickets for 13 in 3 overs. And Rosine Herrera 2 wickets for 19 from 3 overs. Brilliant economy rate in Team 20I, 4.3. Maria Diane, the captain of Rwanda. Clarisse Toniwase would continue from the Court of Appeal end. A brilliant line there, cramped him for room. And Salem just trying to find space around that one. Big shout, will it? Yes, it is. Umpire clearly sure. And Salem Museka will depart for just 14 of 11 deliveries. More and more trouble here, Zimbabwe. In all sorts. Happy moment for Rwanda.
Not really much of a good job they've done in terms of combating all those sinking balls, those deep-in balls, and need is been to their disadvantage. Another wicket lost for this young leadership run side. Just an over after the power play, and they've lost one more wicket. Christina and Salem looked like they were building something. They were going to help the team, aid the team into aiding their chase and getting to that promised land, which is 144 runs. But now that has been quieted down a little bit, and it remains to see how long they can last.
Clearly, she played around that one, playing across the line to a very straight delivery, and she would pay for it. Shaman. On the mark, in the air. Disappointing. Really disappointing here for Zimbabwe. But I'm sure coaches are watching. Temperament needs to be better. They will come through this one.
When you look at that ball and you look at the shot, there's a little bit of hesitation there, but that late decision to take it did not pay off into the arms of the captain herself. This is the second time we've seen the young lady chevrons lose consecutive wickets. Yesterday, the experience of the Nigerian female team, the female Yellow Greens, dominated. Today, it's still experience that speaks for these two sides.
And 104 runs required from 76 deliveries with 7 wickets down. Not what you expect if you're Zimbabwean following this tournament from Harare or Bulawayo, but it is what it is in Lagos, and it's Rwanda who are dominating proceedings right now. Short pitch delivery, rocks on the back foot, misfield there, and they will take a single. The captain of Zimbabwe, under 19, Bule Benkosi Maposa, joins Christiana. In the air, will it be taken? It goes all the way, and this looks like the first maximum of this game. Is it second maximum? A brilliant shot. What a way to say, Christiana, I'm not going to stick around without giving a fight.
The fielder in the deep could only escort that ball. Put herself on the ball initially, she thought. But that shot was a much more complete shot by Christiana. And the Zimbabwe bench mood will at least subside a little bit and put a little bit of confidence in them. Now they have a new hero. Remains to see if she can step up. Don't put hopes into your team if you cannot maintain that momentum. And hopefully Christiana might do that. .96 runs needed off the next 72 balls.
Yeah, it's end of the 8th over. Score now is 49 for 7 after 8 overs. 96, 95 required from 72 deliveries.
It is still a very, very much more attainable score if Christiana can't remain there and bat out the rest of the overs. She was building something with Salem before Salem was sent out quite very early after miscalculating the ball. But so far, so good. Rwanda had controlled the first inning. After the power play, they seem to have taken control. And now, they've completely kept the young lady chevrons at bay. Alice Izukwe, the new bowler in for Rwanda, the number 23 bowling to Christiana. Christiana has been in fine form.
Neatly hit. Yeah. Christiana will get on the mark again. She continues finding that form gradually. Struck straight to the field at covers, but misfield will offer her a run from that first delivery of the 9th over. 95 from 71 deliveries with just 3 wickets in hands. Zimbabwe looks like a tall hurdle to climb. Uppish and Christiana hurried back into her crease. A good approach here. Some confidence from this Rwandan young cricketers. Very clear about their approach. Swings big. Got an inside edge on that one. Just a single. Bule Benkosi Maposa, the captain, trying to just guide Christiana here to see how far they can go. A brilliant shot, finds that gap between the short extra covers and the stumps. They will get a couple there, just keeping the run and scoreboard ticking. Never know how far you can go. Christiana will have to need a scoring partner as well, and 3 runs already conceded in this over. A big swing. Umpire sure of that decision, not gonna hit.
Part of my take home, part of my appreciation for these young lady chevrons is the fact that they've stuck to the basis of batting, playing on the front foot. There has been very, extremely few occasions where they've had to cross bat. But in terms of balls on the line with the stumps, they've offered full face of the bat in combating it. And I will applaud them for that, given the level of experience and age and the adrenaline rush.
Run out opportunity. Would that be? Oh no, wide throw. Disappointing. Not happy with that one, the captain. And that brings us to the end of the 9th over. Score is 51 for 7. 93 required from 66 deliveries. She goes big on the leg side, but protection there for Shiwamana. It is Christiana who's the aggressor here. She continues to find that rhythm and the gaps on the field. Moves to 22 of 16. Buleben Kosi Mapusa yet to really get going. Scored 2 of 6 deliveries so far. Big swing, but could only manage a single here. Didn't really get hold of that one. A run rate still seated at 8.4 required. The current is 5.6. We're into the last over of the hard mark of this innings. A brilliant back foot shot, Christiana. Running well between wickets. Another single to her name.
Buleben Kosi also feeling the heat at the moment. Also part of those that disturbed, I would say, the Rwanda batting order. Picked up a wicket, giving out just 17 runs with an economy of 5.63. She's had to come in early now, had to step up. For a ball that stayed low, really did go on one knee. Is that ball missed the wicket? Rwanda not giving them chance to breathe. Azuzeta has been on the bowler's batter's neck. Full length, dealt with appropriately. No fielder in that position as the ball is sent to the boundary by Christiana. Look at that ball again. Of seeable length, anticipated the bounce, and of the first pitch to the boundary ropes. It's 59 for 7 wickets lost as we are in the drinks break. 85 now needed of the next 60 balls.
needing 85 runs from 60 deliveries with 3 wickets in hand into the second half of the second innings. And joining me in the comms box will be Bob. Run out opportunity just to fumble around fielding there. Rwandans just trying to make this a light walk in the park. Or in a very strong position here, unless something miraculous happens, and would be champion and powered by Christiana. This Rwandan will have to smile at the end of the day.
Alice Ikuzwe, right after the drinks break, coming in from the pavilion end. She has a long off, long on. Plays it on the back foot, straight back to the bowler herself. And the deep square leg. And the deep extra cover. Those are the only 4 boundary riders for Alice Ikuzwe. Quicker on that occasion, well played on the back footer. Looking to take on the arm of Ishimwe Ariete. Not the best of ideas in the world of cricket internationals. You can't take on the arm of Ishimwe Ariete, who's been a little bit quiet in the field. But look at that bullet through to make sure they pick up their 8th wicket is the Team Rwanda. A very collective performance once again from the Rwandans. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. She played a very good shot on the back footer. Straight to the bowler, straight to the fielder, I beg your pardon, in the deep. No chance whatsoever for that diving effort, which has to go in vain. 8 wickets down. It's that momentum right after the drinks break that has made sure the Rwandans pick up yet another wicket, breaking this partnership that was giving them quite some headache of Christina Mutasa and Bulembe Kosi. They've put on a dominant performance. Started off, of course, in the batting department. The contributions from Giselle Ishimwe, who got back into her groove with the runs alongside Muton Iwase Clarice, and once again Iwase Merveille contributing at the back end, playing a very good role as a finisher for her side, a role that she is maturing in. Plays it on the back foot in the air. Who wants it? Will drop short at the youngster in the deeper. Shot number 99, Giselle Ishimwe, who's just 20, if I'm not mistaken, 21 years of age. But given, of course, the players we've witnessed in this tournament, we've seen the likes of Van Vaikwa, just 15 years, Utagushima Ninde, 15 years. We saw the leg spinner from South Africa, who's just 14 years of age. Giselle Ishimwe looks to be the oldest in this tournament.
Interesting. But a couple of years back, she's been here. She's becoming a tournament veteran now.
One of the reasons I just said a youngster, but I just realized that she's no longer a youngster, given, of course, that the average age in this particular 5th edition of the Nigeria Invitational is around 17, 18.
Well, clearly, this is a development part tournament, and it's good to see how far Rwanda and Nigeria have come through developing young cricketers. Big opportunities between the Nigerian Invitational and Quebec tournament, and producing these stars that would later be great players for African countries and representing the continent nicely. And Alice this time will be to Nayasha. A brilliant line. That one beats the bat and the wicket. The wicket keeper got involved. 82 runs from 55 balls.
Quicker from Alice Ikuzwe, trying to surprise the new batter in. But again, a very good glove work from Iwase Merveille. Full again takes the outside edge. The ball will race away to the boundary. Christina Mutasa, on the other hand, she wasn't interested at all in taking that single, given that she will be taking strike on the other end. It is the end of the 11th. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Quicker on that occasion well guided through the vacant third man region for a boundary as she gets off the mark. 11 overs done and dusted. 66 for the loss of 8.
That's a brilliant thinking by Christiana, wanting to take responsibility of proceedings. Current run rate sitting at 6 and over, required 8.6, but 78 runs of 54 balls, just 2 wickets in hand. Zimbabwe will have to be relishing the opportunities here. But we've seen them and how they've progressed between yesterday and today. They've played the 2 potential tournament table toppers in this year's event. Nigeria only managed 80 yesterday against the Nigerian side, and now struggling around 66 for 8. One can't really predict because we've seen the potentials this tournament will become. Rocks back, thick edge on that one, beats the keeper. 1 run completed. Does she want a second? Will it go all the way? The chase is on. Yes, it's gone all the way. Christiana moves on to 33 of 23 deliveries. 70 up now for 8.
I don't mind seeing the youngsters, Christina Mutasa, trying to cut off the deficit. Of course, you never know if the net run rate can come into play. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Wide-ish delivery, rocked back on the back foot, took the healthy outside edge. No chance whatsoever. That chase was there for quite some time, but it was in vain. 70 coming up. But again, Andy, to put you on the spot, you've now watched their 2 games. Where do you think they are lacking at the young lady chevrons? Takes a little shimmy, listen to the sound, nobody moves. Can this be the 3rd maximum of the 5th edition? Ubecha coming off the blade of Christina Mutasa. The big question here is, why did she come in a little bit late?
Well, I clearly agree with you. You require that temperament, that attitude. Just look at this again, a spinner, and that flight deck. She comes down the line knowing it's either now or never. And you ask that question, where have they gotten it all wrong? They need to be patient, right? She needs to probably bat up the order, probably at number 3 or 4, and then they need to do this strike. Take their time. You see the way the Rwandan progress the innings. You saw the way the captain of South Africa under 19 batted earlier on, taking our time, working the ones around there, and building that opportunity to have that big total. That is what Christiana would need going into the rest of the game in this tournament. But so far, she's been brilliant, and I would like to see a late rally fight from her, and she could surprise herself.
I agree with you there, Mr. ND. 39 of 24. Coming back to your point, when you look at all the wickets they have lost in this being their 2nd game, yes, there have been some gem over deliveries from the bowlers, but again, they've been giving away easy wickets to their opponents, something they need to go back and readjust. Yes, they're still a very young side, but I'll tell you, they lost against the female yellow greens, almost the same age as they are. The only difference is that it is the national team of the Nigerian side, and this being the under 19s, but it's the same age. They played together in the under 19 World Cup qualifiers.
She's moved on to 41 of 25, becoming the aggressor now. She goes big, but didn't really get hold of that one. Not interested, and she seems to be wanting control now. Then the Rwandans have to be careful. You don't want to take these things for granted. She seems to have the idea, taking the risks. Certainly a calculated one at this time.
On the back foot again, there's a fielder under that one. Belize Merikatete takes a very beautiful catcher. And the last nail in the coffin from the young lady chevrons has been caught at the boundary rails by Belize Merikatete, courtesy of Shimamana Rosette, picking up a 3rd wicket.
Disappointing end for Christiana, but this is the fight she needed to take to the Rwandans. Rock back on that one, looking for that big boundary on the leg side. And the fielder in the deep made no mess of that one, keeping things very simple. And she departs on 41 of 27 deliveries.
Very good signs, of course, from the Rwandan side, given that they have a very big game against the host. A game that I believe a lot of people around the world will be watching. They have turned out to make it a rivalry of their own. So you're gonna need to collect and correct, I beg your pardon, and tick all the boxes before you face off with the host nation. 11.5 overs. The catching today has been superb. You tell from both games in the morning and this clash between the Zimbabwe under-19s and the Rwandans.
I think clearly teams are matching up against themselves as the tournament progresses. We've seen progression from the first game yesterday to the second one and then the third this morning. And we see how they've come about. But just look at it. Look at the overs. 78, 11.5. If that was 4 wickets, then it could have made sense. A lot of sense, and Rwanda would have been under pressure. So the takeaway for Zimbabwe would be to keep those wickets in hands and rotate that strike while they go at this.
Very good point you raised there. One of the reasons I give a lot of credit to the Ghanaian side. They have played all out their 20 overs every game. You can't take away that patience and the resilience they've shown in the 2 defeats, of course. Plays it straight to the fielder at covers. That should be the end of the fantastic spell there from Ashimamana Rosette. 78 for 9 after 12, needing 66. It's just a matter of time to see if the Rwandans can pick up that last wicket.
Just look at that, Bob. 66 runs, 48 balls left, but only 1 wicket left. And that's something we will keep focus on. I'm sure the bench of the Zimbabwean under-19 team would be having those positive conversations. We call them realistic conversations to say, look, just to picture yourself having only 3 wickets down. There could have been some hope to winning this game and put Rwanda under pressure. But that's the excitement we have in this tournament. Current run rate 6.5. Jesse number 7.
Another spinner into the side. I'm not sure why she was not given earlier on the ball. Usabjimana Slivia. And I beg your pardon, it wasn't the end of her spell. As she still has 1 over to go is Shimamana Rosette.
Brilliantly flighted. Just a dot from that one. Run out opportunity. She wasn't going to run. Muneya Nasha. Oh, brilliant line. She's bowled that line consistently. 3 dot balls already.
Another dot ball, 4 dot balls on the trot from Usabjimana Slivia, who was also part of that under-19 World Cup. They have 7 more players in this squad of the Rwandans. The likes of Giselle Ishimwe, of course, Uwase Merveille, Teresa Ishimwe, Benis Mrekatete, Giovannis, Rosine Irera, and Slivia Usabjimana. Love the fact that they've tested that bigger stage at a very young age. Takes the outside edge on that occasion. They sneak in a quick single at these two, Munanyesha and Tawananyasha. That should be the end of her very fast over the 13th. 79 for 9. It's going to be the captain changing ends coming in from the Court of Appeal end to see if she can wrap up this clean up by the last wicket. would have wanted to see her. Of course, she did her part in the power play, picking up those 3 big wickets up front, including the one of beloved Biza. Trying out Belize Murekatete, who has not bowled a single over, to try and see if she can clean up the tail. She's been training to bowl at the first 2 overs and then the last 2 overs at the back end, the Yokers.
Into the 14th over. Now we have skipper herself bringing herself back. The end, she's bowled beautifully, getting 3 wickets for just 13 runs. Let's see if she can clean things up here, make life easier for herself and just go home.
What do you make of that decision, Andy, to put you on the spot? Would you have given Belize Murekatete just only 1 over and see?
Down the wicket. Now runs come, runs they'll fetch. 4 runs. Again, you never can say when you have bowling captains, it's difficult to always make those calls because at times you don't know when to put yourself back or come into play. But you have to think for the team, and you have a young side, you want to give opportunities. So every decision you make counts actually, and whatever gives you result is what you want to stick with. But if you have a young bowler on the side, you're going to give an opportunity, and in games like this.
Do you think when you talk about bowling captains, do you think it's one of the reasons Darren Sammy has 2 World Cups? I think some of my friends back at home, they say he used to be the specialist, one of the specialist captains.
Well, I think he's been lucky. He's been very lucky, but he's a good guy. I mean, once the whole idea of leadership is you being able to manage your resources and the people around you. So that's part of this time. Diane not really pushing that one through. I think she's struggling. She's not as sharp as she used to be. How old is she now, Bob?
I believe she turned 29 now.
I think she's done well leading this side. She understands our cricket. The confidence there. In the air, and she gets it. She gets a fourth. And that will be it. That will be it. It is Rwanda who have dominated here. And behind the captain of Rwanda, got a 4th one to herself. Again in the replay. It's just on that leg stump line. But Muneyasha opened up the face of the bat. And the fielder there making that one an easy road. Zimbabwe. It is Rwanda who have won by 60 runs.
A tremendous performance, collective performance, you would say, from the Rwandans as they register their 2nd win, beating the Young Lady Chevros by 60 runs. Let's have a look at the match summary of our match day 2, game number 4. And it was Rwanda who won the toss, decided to have a bat faster, led by Giselle Ishimez, 40 of 32, and a very good cameo from Uwase Merveille, 39 of 20, and a very good contribution once again from Umuton Uwase Clarice, 19 of 23. And with the ball, of course, a wicket apiece from Mutasa Maposa and Tawanyasha. And in the 2nd innings, Zimbabwe under 19s, Christina Mutasa contributing 41, something they need to think of in their batting lineup if she can come in a little bit early in their next game. Of 27 deliveries, and Salem Museka 14 of 11, 13 from 11 from beloved Biza, once again not making a statement given the player of her caliber. And Bimenyimana, the captain, picking up 3 wickets in the power play, and then coming back at the back end of the innings to wrap up. The last wicket went for 17 runs from 3.4 overs. 3 wickets from Shimumano Rosete, once again contributing with the ball in hand. And Rosina Irera, at some stage, she was on hat-trick. She picked up 2 wickets, went for 19 runs in the 3 overs. Rwanda women winning by 60 runs, making it 2 out of 2 with a 100% record in the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's T20 Tournament. Do not go anywhere, as our mate Andy will be back shortly as you do enjoy the highlights with the post-match presentation award. But for now, it is me, Songa Boba Bashir, signing out.
Good evening and welcome to the post-match presentation on match number 4 between Zimbabwe under 19 and Rwanda. It is Rwanda who won the toss and batted first, 143 runs in 20 overs. We saw a bit of performances from a couple of batters from there. Zimbabwe under 19, 83 runs all out in 13.4 overs. At this point, I'd like to welcome the captain of Zimbabwe. Maposa, tough luck today. I know you spoke about it at the toss that you try and bowl them under 100. It wasn't what you expected. What's the feeling like?
Yeah, another bad day in the changing room, but we left with 2 games, so hopefully we'll bounce back.
We saw Christiana at the end there trying to take responsibility for the team. Do you think she'll be batting up the order in coming games?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Because if you look at the way you've batted 83 runs in 13.4, you probably will be thinking, if we had wickets in hand, maybe you might be able to chase.
Yeah, I think if we had wickets, yeah, we're gonna do something. So yeah, I hope tomorrow we'll do better.
All the best in coming games. Thank you.
So much.
And to help us present this award, I would like to call on Anje Nicole, the umpire, to do the presentation. A player of the match, 4 wickets, 17 runs in 3.2 overs, as the captain of Rwanda, Diane. Don't run away, Diane. Congratulations once again. 143 runs. Was that what you had in mind?
Yeah, we wanted something above 120 and we got it.
Well, you've seen your batters done well, Gisele Ishunwe, and today Fanny struggled to get going. What's your plan going forward to the team?
For us, we are not relying on one batter because we have a very long batting lineup, so we are not depending on one batter. We know that everyone can contribute, and that is what's happening.
Looking at your squad, we see you have a lot of under-19 players who were at the last World Cup, and I'm seeing that you've been not just saying somebody say you're a veteran of this tournament. What do you make of this tournament after the second day?
We are just going game by game, and everyone is contributing, whether the youngster or the seniors. So it's a good thing to take.
Congratulations once again, and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it from the post-match presentation. It is Rwanda who have dominated today. Tomorrow we come back with a West African derby. It will be Nigeria versus Ghana, 10 a.m. via the TBS Cricket Oval.